This is my first ever time of doing a chess presentation to a camera. I'm used to doing this to the children in the room, and now I've got to do it to the camera. So fingers crossed this all goes okay. But what I would like you to do is I would like you to make me a checkmate in one puzzle. So for all the children that come to my chess club, you are very used to arriving into the room and there's a checkmate in one puzzle for you to solve. Where do I get those puzzles from? Sometimes I make them up, sometimes I use other people's. But this next term I would like to use yours. And making a checkmate in one puzzle isn't always that simple, but it can be simple. I'm going to make one with you now so that you can see how I would do it. And let's see if you can make one for me. So the plan will be, I show you what to do, I show you how to write it down, and then I'm going to ask you to get your parent to take a photo of it and then email me the photo. And I'm hoping to be deluged with checkmate in one puzzles, and I will choose the best 10 for the 10 weeks of next term. Let's hope it's yours. And whoever's it I do pick, I will actually say, this was Bob's puzzle. So see if you can make a good one, see if you can get selected. So this is a chessboard on my demo board, and it becomes a real game as soon as the kings are put on the board, because remember the kings never come off the board. So I'm going to put my kings on the board and I'm going to put them in starting positions. We know that the kings always start on the E file. And we know that white always starts on rank 1 and 2. There he is on E1. And there's black on E8. So now we have a chess game. It could look like that. But we want it to be a checkmate puzzle. Now in its easiest form, I'm going to show you the very, very easiest form. In the easiest form, if you think about the lawnmower, if I was going to do a checkmate puzzle, I would put a rook on the board to stop the king moving down the board. If I place a rook here, we know the rooks have a line of attack horizontally, so that king cannot now move down the board. So if I'm making a puzzle, that's a very useful position for the rook to be in. If I take my other rook and put him somewhere where he could checkmate on the next move, let's try it there. So I'll put my rook down there. There's a checkmate in one move on the board now. Now all good checkmate puzzles should have more than one check, so that the person who's doing the puzzle has got to try and find the answer. So if I move this rook, that's check. But it's not going to be checkmate because my king could move to either of the squares next to him. So that's not the answer. This is check. Check. But my king, the king could take the rook. That wouldn't be checkmate. This is check. But now the king can run away. Remember, it was great when he was on that rank to stop the king from running away. And so the only checkmating move on the board is to bring the rook right up to that back rank. And he's in a line of attack and the king cannot run away, and that's checkmate. So checkmate in one puzzle is one move before checkmate. That's what the checkmate in one puzzle would look like, and the person solving it has to find the answer. And in chess speak and in chess notation, the answer would be capital R, little b, number 8, plus for check, another plus for checkmate, so double plus or a hashtag. So in its very, very simplest form, here's a checkmate in one puzzle. I want you to do one in a very complicated form. It's much harder to checkmate a king that's not on the edge of a board. So let's move this king slightly more into the centre, and let's use a few pieces and come up with a more exciting checkmate in one puzzle. So I always start these off by actually finding what I want my checkmate to be. So for this example, my knight will deliver the checkmate, and this will be where the checkmate is going to be. So in order to create my puzzle, I have to create a checkmate. So I've now got a check. Now this knight is really well positioned because not only does he say check, but he's also threatening that square. If you can see, that square's also a knight's move away. Now the king, when the king moves normally, he can move one square at a time. These are his possible moving squares. He's in check and he can run away, but he can't run away to there because the knight's doing a double job. But he can run away to all of these others. So I'm going to take all of his runaway squares one by one and stop him from running away. So I'm going to, let's say, I'm going to block this one with my knight. Now again, I've picked that knight because knights can be really useful. At this precise moment, the king can take that knight. So I'm actually going to give the knight a helper. Let's give the knight a helper there. So we're going to pop the knight on the board there, the pawn on the board there, protecting the knight so that the king can't take the knight. So now my knight's protecting that square. The king would love to be able to take that knight and run away there, but he can't. If we carry on round, I want to do something about that square. So I'm actually going to use, let's say, a rook. Now the rook is protecting that square. The rook's also guarding the knight, but I'm going to keep that pawn there because actually the fact that that is check might make my puzzle more exciting later. So now this rook seals off that escape square. What about that escape square? Well, you can use black's own pieces. So I'm going to let it be that black is blocked from moving there by his own piece. Now one of the reasons I put a knight there is because the knight has such a lovely movement. The knight is actually, by being there, blocking off those two escape hatches. So I'm just left with that one and that one. And as you can see, they are diagonally together. So I'm going to use a bishop, and I'm going to set the bishop further back to protect them. So now if you have a look, this should be checkmate. So the knight says check, the king cannot move there because of the knight, he cannot take the knight because of both the rook and the pawn, he cannot go here because of the rook, he's blocked by his own pawn, he can't go here because of this knight, he can't go there because of that long range bishop, he also can't go there because of the long range bishop, and he can't go there because of the knight. And we're back round to here, which is protected by the knight. So that is checkmate. So to be a checkmate puzzle, I need to take away my checking piece so that the person solving the puzzle has to find that move. Now we can see, we know now that it's that move, but we want it to be a bit more exciting. We want there to be lots of checks on the board, which is why actually I've left the pawn there, because that would be check. Only the king could capture. So that wouldn't be checkmate, but it's a good check to have. I'd like there to be another check on the board. I'm going to pop my bishop down there so that actually somebody trying to solve this puzzle, they could move the bishop up to there. And that would also be check. Now, is that checkmate? If you remember, when we do move the knight there, he's sealing off that escape square. That was why he was useful. So that, although it is check, the king still has that escape square. So that wouldn't be checkmate. So that's really quite a useful red herring bishop to add to my puzzle. And in addition, black sometimes has other pieces on the board. Let's just add a pawn and a rook so that it doesn't look like black was playing quite so badly and had only got those pieces left. So now we have a checkmate in one puzzle where there's a few different checks to find, but there's only one checkmate. So the checkmate would be N, capital N for knight, F4 ++ or hashtag. And we move that knight away so that the person solving the puzzle has to find that answer. There we have a checkmate in one puzzle. Now I've split this video into two halves, mostly because my tech skills are so hopeless I can't get a big long video onto my website in one go. So I'm actually splitting my presentation now. I'd like you to watch video 2 so that you can see how I would like you to turn it from your chessboard at home onto a piece of paper for your parent to be able to send to me. So have a go. Watch video 2, get your chessboards out, see if you can make a checkmate in one puzzle that's got a lot of checks but only one mate, that it's a bit exciting and that maybe I could use that in club next term. Thank you for watching.